Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Okay, so I'm going to read you Lori Vallow's police affidavit. It's a 14-page report, and it was just released today, so I'm going to read it for you guys. Detective Ron Ball of the Rexburg Police Department, being first duly sworn under oath, depose and state as follows. The information contained herein is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. I am a detective with the Rexburg Police Department and have been employed in law enforcement for more than 27 years. I am currently the lieutenant over investigations for the Rexburg Police Department. I currently hold an advanced certificate and a management certificate from the Idaho Peace Officers Standards and Training Academy and have over 2,500 hours of training. I have attended multiple trainings and classes throughout my career, including graduating from the FBI National Academy in 2015. I have received multiple hours of specialized training in investigations. I have also conducted numerous investigations and interviews with suspects, victims, and witnesses involving narcotics, sex crimes, and fraud. I have also received numerous hours of training on traffic stops and detection of criminal behavior. On the afternoon of November 25th, 2019, the Rexburg Police Department was contacted by the Gilbert, Arizona Police Department about a missing child, hereinafter designated as JV, which is Joshua Vallow. JV is a 7-year-old boy with autism who is supposed to be living with his adoptive mother, Lori Noreen Vallow, aka Lori Noreen Daybell. Okay, so I'm just going to say JJ instead of JV. So JJ's grandmother, Kay Woodcock, had contacted the Gilbert Police Department about JJ for a welfare check. Lori also has a daughter, Tylee. As described further in this affidavit, while RPD was investigating the disappearance of JJ, the investigation grew to conclude a search for Tylee, who is also missing and has not been seen since September 8th, 2019. I'm aware that Lori Vallow moved to Rexburg with JJ near the first week of September 2019. I'm aware that JJ was enrolled for 3 weeks at the Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg, Idaho. I am further aware that he was seen by neighbors at and near his apartment in Rexburg. Throughout the investigation, RPD has learned that the last day JJ was seen alive was on September 23rd, 2019 at Kennedy Elementary School. On September 24th, 2019, Lori Vallow informed the school that JJ would no longer be attending Kennedy Elementary and that Lori would homeschool him. Kennedy Elementary has informed RPD that no other school has made requests for JJ's school transcripts. We have not been able to find any witnesses who have seen JJ since September 24th, 2019. I was familiar with Lori Vallow because the RPD had previously been contacted by the Gilbert, Arizona and Chandler, Arizona police departments, who requested help to obtain search warrants for a vehicle in Lori's possession. Said vehicle was related to a possible attempted murder of Lori's niece's ex-husband, Brandon Bordeaux, in Arizona. I'm aware that Detective Ray Hermosillo had also performed intermittent surveillance on Lori Vallow at the request of the Gilbert Police Department, starting on November 1st, 2019. Detective Hermosillo reports that he never once saw JJ when he was performing surveillance during the month of November 2019. The vehicle mentioned in paragraph 6 of this affidavit is a 2018 gray Jeep Wrangler bearing Texas license plate number blah blah blah. Said vehicle is registered to Charles Vallow, who is the deceased husband of Lori Vallow. Lori and Charles were in the process of getting a divorce when Charles Vallow died. The Gilbert Police Department was interested in this vehicle because it had been identified in an attempted shooting of a Brandon Bordeaux in Gilbert, Arizona on October 2nd, 2019. Brandon had previously been married to Lori Vallow's niece, Melanie Bordeaux. At the time of his attempted shooting, Brandon witnessed the Jeep, which he recognized as being the same vehicle that Tylee regularly drove. Brandon observed a rifle with a silencer come out of the rear window of the Jeep, and then Brandon's vehicle was shot once in the front driver's doorframe. As Brandon drove away, the Jeep followed, but eventually turned a different direction. This same Jeep, observed by Brandon, was seized pursuant to a search warrant in November of 2019 in Rexburg, Idaho. It is significant that the vehicle Tylee reportedly regularly drove was still in Rexburg nearly 2 months after the last known sighting of Tylee. So that's weird. So I thought it was at his house that he was shot. When I read some of the articles for as far as Brandon being shot, Didn't it say he was shot in his driveway at his house? So this makes it seem like he was shot, I don't know where, and then, let's see, let me read this again. Brandon drove away and the Jeep followed. So he drove away, and then the Jeep turned in a different direction, but didn't the other reports make it seem like he was in his driveway when he got shot at? So now I'm a little bit confused. And it does make me wonder who was driving that car, because if he was at the rifle, like if that was Alex with the gun, who was the driver? Makes you wonder, because it said that the gun, he saw the gun come out of the rear window. So who was in the front? Who was driving? Okay, so let's continue. I'm aware through contact with the Gilbert and Chandler police departments that Lori's husband, Charles Vallow, was shot on July 11th, 2019 by Lori's brother, Alex Cox. Lori Vallow is now married to Chad Daybell from Fremont County, Idaho. Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy Daybell, died in Fremont County, Idaho on October 19th, 2019. I was informed that Chad and Lori married approximately 2 weeks after the death of Tammy Daybell. I later confirmed that they were married on November 5th, 2019 on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. Through our investigation, RPD discovered photographs of their wedding on a beach in Hawaii. Neither JJ or Tylee are seen in any of those photographs. On November 26, 2019, Detective Hermosillo and Detective Hope from the RPD went to Lori's home, located in Rexburg, Idaho, to conduct a welfare check. Detectives Hermosillo and Hope met with Lori's brother, Alex Cox, and Chad Daybell outside the residence. Chad acted as if he didn't know Lori very well and stated he didn't know her phone number. Alex told the detectives that JJ was with his grandma, Kay Woodcock, in Louisiana, which was not likely to be true due to the fact that Kay was the individual who first called in a missing children report to the Gilbert Police Department. Alex said Lori may be in apartment 107. Hermosillo and Hope went to apartment 107, but the apartment was completely empty and vacant. At this time, they called me and asked me to come to the premises to help search for JJ. Shortly after calling me, Detective Hermosillo called me again and indicated that he saw Chad Daybell driving a black Chevrolet Equinox away from the residence. Detective Hermosillo stopped Chad and asked him again if he had seen JJ. Chad responded that the last time he had seen JJ was in apartment 107 in October. He also admitted he knew Lori Vallow's phone number and provided it to Detective Hermosillo. On that same day, myself and Detective Stubbs of the RPD located and spoke with Lori Vallow in her apartment number 175. We identified ourselves as RPD officers. Lori told us that JJ was in Gilbert, Arizona with a friend named Melanie Gibb. We obtained Melanie's phone number from Lori. We ended our contact with Lori and immediately attempted to call Melanie Gibb. We were unable to contact her. Because Detective Stubbs and I were unable to contact Melanie Gibb, we immediately contacted Lori Vallow again, and we requested that she call Melanie Gibb. At this time, Lori told us that Melanie and JJ were at the movie Frozen 2, so it was unlikely Melanie would answer the phone. We instructed Lori to call Melanie Gibb and have her call us so we could verify the location of JJ. By the evening of November 26, 2019, we still had not heard from Melanie Gibb, so RPD informed Detective Ryan Pillar of the Gilbert Police Department of the information we had received regarding the children being with Melanie Gibb. I was informed later that evening, around 9:30 p.m., that Gilbert Police went to the home of Melanie Gibb. Melanie was not home, but Detective Pillar contacted her by phone, and she stated that JJ was not staying at her Arizona house and had not been there for several months. On December 6, 2019, RPD was contacted by Melanie Gibb and informed that both Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow called Melanie on November 26, 2019 at separate times and asked her to tell the police that she had JJ even if JJ was not with her. Melanie informed RPD that she declined Chad and Lori's requests. This further establishes that the statement made to law enforcement by Lori Vallow on November 26, 2019 was false and that Lori Vallow knew it was false. The statement Lori made to RPD about JJ being with Melanie Gibb delayed the investigation into the whereabouts and safety of JJ by requiring us to take time to investigate a lead that was verified as false. On November 27, 2019, RPD obtained search warrants to search Lori Vallow's apartment located at blah 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 in Rexburg, Idaho, Melanie Bordeaux Pawlowski's apartment, who is Lori's niece, in her apartment in Rexburg, Idaho, Alex Cox, Lori's brother's apartment in Idaho. All three apartments are part of the same complex. Oh wow, so Lori, her niece Melanie, and Alex, all three apartments are in the same complex. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay. JJ was not located at any of the residents. It appeared to me that most of the clothing in Lori's apartment had been removed. Other furniture was still inside the residence. RPD believed that she left Rexburg with Chad Daybell the night of November 26, 2019. Melanie Bordereau later confirmed that Chad and Lori did leave Rexburg the night of the 26th. During the search of Lori Vallow's apartment, we found evidence that JJ was prescribed risperidone in the form of a pill bottle labeled with JJ's name and the prescribed risperidone. I have learned through research that risperidone is a tranquilizer prescribed to treat irritability caused by autism. That prescription was filled for JJ in January 2019 in Arizona. The risperidone bottle still contains 17 pills. We have verified through the Idaho State Pharmacy Board that said prescription has not been filled in Idaho. So that was in January. So that means, he was last seen in the end of September. So does that mean that for 8 months he didn't have his medicine? That's kind of weird. Because if he had... Well, okay, so for the prescription, he got it filled in January, so it looks like he still had 17 pills, so that means maybe he only took it for half of the month in January. It's not looking good. Unless, for some reason, she wanted him to come off of the risperidone. But, no, it's just not... This whole situation is just not looking good for the kids. I don't know. It's getting scary. I'm actually afraid to find out. Thinking about it, I get almost this anxiety because I know we're going to probably, maybe... have some answers, and it's kind of scary because I don't think we're going to like the answers that we get. On November 27th, 2018, RPD also served a search warrant on Lori Vallow's storage unit located at Self Storage Plus in Rexburg, Idaho. Inside of the storage unit, we found a blanket with pictures of JJ on it, a blanket with pictures of Tylee on it, a backpack with JJ's initials on it, toys that appeared appropriate for a young boy, winter clothing, other children's clothing, bikes, a scooter, and a photo album. RPD was further made aware that the credit debit card Lori Vallow provided to Self Storage Plus was declined on January 2nd of 2020. The owner of Self Storage Plus has reported to law enforcement that as a regular operating procedure, he has reached out to Lori Vallow by phone, text, and email, but has not heard back from her. At this time, Lori Vallow has not attempted to provide another debit credit card to Self Storage Plus. Soon after we executed the search warrants to find JJ at the apartments in Rexburg, Gilbert police asked us if we had any record of a Tylee Ryan being in Rexburg. Tylee is Lori Vallow's biological daughter from her marriage to Joseph Ryan, who is deceased. Tylee has a brother named Colby Ryan. I am aware that Gilbert Police Department has been in contact with Colby. Colby reports that the last time he spoke with Tylee was on August 30th, 2019 via FaceTime. He informed Gilbert Police that when he tried to contact Tylee after August 30th, Lori would give excuses as to why Tylee could not talk with him. Through our investigation, RPD has been informed that Tylee moved to Rexburg with Lori on or about September 1st or 2nd, 2019. We have been informed that Lori told Melanie Gibb that Tylee was attending classes at BYU, Idaho. However, a records check at BYU, Idaho indicates that Tylee was never enrolled at BYU, Idaho or any other school affiliated with BYU. RPD verified Lori Vallow moved into the apartment located in Rexburg, Idaho with Tylee Ryan and JJ on or around September 1st or 2nd, 2019. This information was corroborated by Lori Vallow's neighbors who lived in the same complex in the next door apartment. They saw Tylee at or around the residence when she moved in with Lori. These same neighbors actually helped Lori Vallow move into her apartment. They saw Tylee briefly a couple times after she moved in, but have not seen her since the first couple of weeks of September. Their son played with JJ multiple times. These same neighbors have further informed us through Detective Stubbs of the RPD that one of their children went to Lori's apartment sometime in late September to play with JJ, and the child was informed by Lori Vallow that JJ was not there and that he had gone to stay with his grandma. Another neighbor of Lori Vallow, who lived directly across the courtyard from Lori, had a doorbell camera that recorded JJ outside playing on September 17th, 2019. Throughout our investigation, we were able to determine through phone records that Tylee accompanied Lori Vallow, Alex Cox, and JJ on a day trip to Yellowstone National Park on September 8th, 2019. We have obtained a photograph of Tylee at the park entrance through the National Park Service. Also, through a service of a search warrant, RPD has obtained a photo from Lori Vallow's iCloud account of Tylee in Yellowstone National Park that is time-stamped on September 8th, 2019. This photo is the last time we could find any record of Tylee being with Lori Vallow. We have found no witnesses who can verify they have seen Tylee since September 8th, 2019. RPD has verified that Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow flew from the Los Angeles, California airport to Kauai on American Airlines on December 1st, 2019. This information was obtained through a search warrant served on American Airlines. RPD cannot find any information suggesting they have returned to the mainland of the United States since that time, and it appears they have been in Hawaii since they arrived on December 1st, 2019. Those same records established that JJ and Tylee were not with their mother, Lori Vallow, when she flew to Kauai. I'm aware that Chad and Lori are currently living at Princeville, Kauai, Hawaii. I am in contact with the Kauai police who are monitoring the condo in which Chad and Lori are staying. The children have not been sighted with Chad and Lori. Further, I'm aware that on multiple occasions, Chad and Lori checked into the Kauai Beach Resort and that no children checked in with them. That information was provided by an employee at the resort. Detective Chad Cataluna of the Kauai Police Department has performed surveillance on Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow in Kauai. He has informed us that he has seen Lori Vallow with Chad Daybell at least 3 times since he was made aware that Chad and Lori were residing in Kauai. Detective Cataluna has informed us that not once has he seen JJ and Tylee with Chad and Lori. On December 20th, 2019, the Rexburg police and the FBI published a press release announcing that JJ and Tylee were missing, that RPD was looking for them, and asking for the public's help in locating them. Since December 20th, 2019, this case has received national media attention. Lori Vallow has refused to provide law enforcement with any information regarding the location of her children, Tylee and JJ. Through this investigation, RPD has learned that Lori Vallow used the website www.care.com to find a babysitter for JJ. Through service of a search warrant on www.care.com, we were able to verify the identity of the babysitter who Lori Vallow hired to watch JJ. We contacted this babysitter and she informed us that she watched JJ on the 19th of September. She had met Lori Vallow and JJ the day before, September 18th, 2019. The babysitter understood that her employment was to be ongoing. The babysitter reports that on September 24th, 2019, she reached out to Lori Vallow, and Lori told her that JJ had gone to stay with his grandma for several weeks and that the babysitter's services were no longer needed. On January 16th, 2020, a child protection action was filed by the state of Idaho in Madison County on behalf of JJ and Tylee. The case number is CV33200045. The court ordered Lori Vallow to produce JJ and Tylee within 5 days of service of the order to the Rexburg Police Department or the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare in Rexburg. Lori Vallow was served that order on Saturday, January 25th, 2020 by Detective Chad Cataluna of the Kauai Police Department. Lori did not produce the children within 5 days of being served and has not produced the children to this date. Other than any current orders in a pending child protection action in Madison County, Idaho, RPD has not found any court record or order establishing guardianship or parentage of TR with anyone other than Lori Vallow. There is a final decree of adoption from the 14th Judicial District Court, Parish of Cassia, State of Louisiana, establishing Charles and Lori Vallow as the adoptive parents of JJ, dated July 25th, 2014. As such, the only known living parent of JJ and Tylee is Lori Vallow. On the dates between January 24th, 2020 and January 29th, 2020, I was in Hawaii with Detective Hermosillo and the Kauai Police Department. I reviewed the video of Lori Vallow being served with the order in the child protection case, which was filmed by the Kauai Police Department. JJ and Tylee were not seen in the video. While we were there, 2 FBI agents, Rory Johnson and Douglas McLand, assisted us in performing surveillance on Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow. On the morning of January 26, 2020, they observed Chad and Lori on a beach. JJ and Tylee were not with them. During the afternoon of January 26, 2020, I observed the Kauai Police Department serve search warrants on the persons of Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow and on a black Ford Explorer they had rented. Said warrants were served on them in the parking lot of the Kauai Beach Resort. JJ and Tylee were not with Chad and Lori. The following items were located in their possession: birth certificates for Tylee and JJ, Tylee's financial transaction card issued by BBVA, JJ's iPad identified by his initials on the back, another iPad which was logged into JJ's Apple account, JJ's school registration receipts from Kennedy Elementary in Rexburg, Idaho. Through our investigation, RPD learned that Tylee's BBVA financial transaction card, which was found with Lori Vallow, is still active and has been used since the last sighting of Tylee. On January 26, 2020, after the search warrants were served on the persons and vehicle of Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow, a search warrant was served on the condominium located in Princeville, Kauai, Hawaii, where Chad and Lori were residing. I personally observed the Kauai police perform the search. In the garage of the condominium, there were 2 beach lawn chairs, 2 yoga fitness mats, 2 beach towels. There were no items in the garage that appeared to belong to a minor child. There was nothing found in the condominium that appeared to belong to Tylee or JJ. Further, there was nothing found in the condo that would indicate that a 7-year-old boy had been there, such as children's clothing, toys, children's books, children's medication, etc. There was a second room, other than the master bedroom in the condo. That second room had no signs of being lived in or otherwise occupied. Throughout the investigation, RPD discovered that JJ had a service dog for his autism. This dog was named Bailey and was trained by Dog Training Elite in Arizona on July 22nd. She sent Dog Training Elite an email asking about finding another family for Bailey due to the change in life circumstances. Dog Training Elite picked up the dog on August 30th, 2019. Wait, that one article said that she was trying to sell the dog and then they found it. So this is saying that she called them and asked them to find a new house and was going to return it. So why did that article say that she put this dog up for sale and was trying to sell it, and then the dog training place saw the ad to try to sell the dog and then they told her, no, you have to return it? But this is making it seem like that she contacted them and was like, oh, we got to return it. Oh well, I guess it's not important. Through this investigation, I interviewed Chad Daybell's parents, Jack and Sheila Daybell, in Springville, Utah. They informed me that Chad and Lori told them in November that Lori Vallow was an empty nester. Through this investigation, RPD has interviewed Jason and Samantha Gwilliam. Samantha Gwilliam is the sister of the deceased Tammy Daybell. Jason and Samantha informed RPD that Chad told them that Lori had no juvenile children. On February 16th, 2020, RPD received a tip from a named individual in Maui, Hawaii, that Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow were renting a car from the Hertz car rental at the Maui airport. The informant provided a picture of Chad and Lori, and JJ and Tylee were not with Chad and Lori in the picture. Throughout this investigation, RPD and the FBI have reviewed Lori Vallow's bank and financial information. No information has been found which would suggest that Lori Vallow is providing money to anyone to care for JJ and Tylee. RPD has found no evidence or verification of anyone providing for the housing, food, clothing, education, or medical care of JJ since September 24th, 2019, and Tylee since September 8th, 2019. As of the date of this affidavit, JJ and Tylee are still missing. Due to Lori Vallow is the legal parent and guardian of Tylee and JJ, nobody has seen or verifiably heard from Tylee since September 8th, 2019. Nobody has seen or heard from JJ since September 23rd, 2019. Lori Vallow has verifiably been living on the island of Kauai, Hawaii since the beginning of December with her new husband Chad Daybell, and that not once have they been seen with JJ or Tylee. The condominium currently occupied by Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow contains no evidence that any person other than Chad and Lori is living there. That medication prescribed to JJ has not been refilled in the state of Idaho at a time when JJ was verifiably with Lori Vallow. Tylee's financial transaction card was in possession of Lori Vallow even though Tylee is not with Lori Vallow. Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell have represented to Chad's family that Lori has no juvenile children. Lori Vallow claimed that she was going to homeschool JJ, but she is not with JJ, and no other educational facility has requested JJ's school records. No verification of another caregiver for JJ or Tylee has been found, and that as of January 30th, 2020, Lori failed to comply with a court order to produce the minor children to the Rexburg, Idaho Police Department or the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare within 5 days of being served with an order to do so. I believe probable cause exists that Lori Vallow has deserted Tylee and JJ pursuant to Idaho Code 18-401, which states it shall be a felony for every person who, having any child under the age of 18 years, dependent upon him or her for care, education, or support, deserts such child in any manner whatever, with intent to abandon it. I further believe probable cause exists that Lori Vallow intentionally and willfully abandoned JJ and Tylee pursuant to Idaho Code 18-403 and 18-405. Due to the fact that Lori Vallow provided verifiably false information to RPD by telling RPD that JJ was located in Arizona with Melanie Gibb. That said false information obstructed and delayed the investigation into the location of JJ by requiring RPD to investigate a false lead. And the fact that Lori Vallow solicited Melanie Gibb to corroborate the false information Lori gave RPD. I believe probable cause exists that Lori Vallow did resist, delay, or obstruct a public officer in the discharge or attempted discharge a duty of his office, specifically investigating a report of a missing child pursuant to Idaho Code 18-705. Due to the fact that Lori Vallow did solicit or request Melanie Gibb to provide false information to RPD regarding the location of JJ, which would have further obstructed and or delayed RPD's investigation. I believe probable cause exists that Lori Vallow did commit the crime of solicitation to commit a crime pursuant to Idaho Code 18-2001. Due to the fact that Lori Vallow did refuse to obey lawful order from the court in case number CV33-20-0045 by failing to produce JJ and Tylee to the RPD or to the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare in Rexburg on January 30th, 2020. I believe probable cause exists that Lori Vallow did violate Idaho Code 18-1801. Due to the following facts, I believe that Lori Vallow is a flight risk. Within the day of when we met with Lori Vallow on November 26, 2019, to ask about the whereabouts of the children, Lori Vallow had left the state and was in Hawaii within a week. The charges being filed against Lori are serious. 2 of the charges are felony abandonment of a child, which carry up to 14 years in prison. Lori Vallow has no significant ties to Madison County. She no longer has a home here, and she has abandoned a significant amount of property here. Lori Vallow has already displayed a willingness to disobey and ignore a court order by not producing JJ and Tylee in Rexburg, even though she was specifically ordered by the court to do so and had adequate time to do so. Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell have significant financial resources. I am aware that Chad Daybell received at least $430,000 in life insurance proceeds upon the death of his wife Tammy. As such, Lori and Chad have resources sufficient to help them travel and hide from law enforcement and the court. Based upon the above, I hereby request a warrant be issued for the arrest of Lori Noreen Vallow, aka Lori Noreen Daybell, for 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support of children, 1 misdemeanor count of resisting and obstructing officers, 1 misdemeanor count of criminal solicitation, 1 misdemeanor count of criminal contempt. I respectfully request, based upon the above, that bond be set in this matter in the amount of $5 million to secure Lori Vallow's appearance in court in Madison County, Idaho. So there we go, guys. What do you think? So, listening to the last time that Tylee was seen was September 8th, and they went to Yellowstone with Alex, the one who killed Charles, and the one that was probably the one that shot at Brandon. We know that he's not afraid to take somebody's life, so that just makes me scared that they went to Yellowstone Park, which is a huge park. Many ways that you could kill somebody out there. I mean, I hate to say it, but think about it. They could push her into the water, push her off the cliff. They have those geysers there. I mean, there's so many different ways that they could have gotten rid of her. And I mean, the park is so big that, I mean, I'm not saying this to be insensitive. I'm just trying to be honest and be the reality of it. The fact that she has not been seen since that trip, it looks like she never made it out of that park. So I just wonder, the people that work at that park, if were they there after dark? Because, you know, there'd be people in the park that, you know, maybe would have seen something, but it's so big that there was probably times they were by themselves and they could have done something. But it just makes me wonder, there's got to be some kind of cameras there, and so, you know, the rangers and stuff. I would like to know, did they see them there late? Were they there late at night there? Did they see them leave? Because if there was cameras in the entrance, was there cameras that would show them walking out? And well, I guess not, because the police would have it if they saw her come in and then they didn't see her leave, they would know. So I don't think, but it just makes me wonder if somebody saw something there, or the rangers, or were they there late? Did she leave that park? It just makes it seem like they went in with her and they left without her. So if I was the cops, I would probably be searching that park, and I'm sure they have, but it's such a big park, and it's, wow, it's just so many places that they could put somebody, I'm afraid of. So, but that means they were there with JJ, so JJ would have probably witnessed something, unless Alex and Tylee went off, and then, you know, and then Lori went off with JJ, and then Alex did something to Tylee, so JJ didn't see. But it makes you wonder, why didn't they just do both of them there? You know, why did they, if they did do something to Tylee and Yellowstone, why wouldn't they have just took care of JJ then? I'm not trying to sound insensitive, because it's horrible. I don't agree with this, but I'm just saying, why wait a couple weeks to do something to JJ? Why not just do them both there? You know, does that make sense? Or is it because maybe he saw something and he was freaking out, and they weren't planning on doing anything with JJ, and then he saw what happened to Tylee and was freaking out? Who knows? I don't even know if we'll ever have the answers, because now, look, Alex, the other witness, Alex, he's gone now. So let's just pray that maybe the results of the autopsies will be enough to show that, to charge her with something more than what they are. But still, those two charges are pretty big. If they could get her guilty, find her guilty on those two child abandonment charges, 14 years each, I mean, that's pretty big right there. 28 years, I mean, it's better than nothing. But I just wish we would have answers. And you know, their family, like JJ's grandparents and Tylee's friends and family, you know, Joseph Ryan's family, they want some answers. And I'm just afraid, because how freaking evil Lori is, we're not going to get answers. But like I said, I think the key is Chad. I think, you know, breaking him down, maybe getting him to talk, offering him some kind of immunity or deal if he talks. So I guess we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. I don't think Tylee made it out of Yellowstone, but I still want to hold on to a little bit of hope that they're okay. I know it's wishful thinking, but the only other thing I could think of is, if she didn't leave Yellowstone with him, maybe they met somebody there that was going to basically take care of her, that she was supposed to go with. So maybe that's why she wasn't seen after that they went to Yellowstone, they met this person, the person took Tylee, and then she's been with them. That, I mean, that's the hopeful thinking, that she's still alive, but I know it doesn't look good. It really doesn't. But I guess I'm just hanging on to that little bit of hope until we see. So, alright guys, well, let me know your thoughts, and you all have a good night. Bye.